And that's what I feel like
Jessica,
now. And then a week from now, I'll find it and be like, yes, look at that.
Um, Jessica, as far as we know, we believe it's a leave of absence.
See, check
So
where you write things down,
that's
like
what
your
we
law
know.
stuff.
hold on. Hey, did you hear Jessica? Did you hear what Says was saying?
Sorry, I got excited about the candy bar. Could you interrupt?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
So no, Jessica, no one knows. Um, hey, real quick. I don't know if you popped in before and didn't hear me, but
Yeah.
I dropped you a DM a few days ago, and I know you probably get thousands of them, but I just want to let you know I dropped you a DM. What were you told?
Do you want to jump in the box, Jessica? You're
So
welcome.
apparently and what we were told was, because last night is when the ex-resident Ray came up and let us know about it, that he's no longer employed by them. So we don't know if he's actually still at the house or not, but he is no longer like working for them or going to be on the lives, I'm assuming. We don't know if he's actually left or not, or if it
Or if it's
was
permanent
his
or
own
short
decision or
term.
their decision. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's a good chance he's just like in the grad house, kind of doing like reflections from being pulled up or
Yeah.
whatever.
Look,
Nobody knows what's
there
going
could
on.
be a million different things going on, and I guess it's best not to like speculate as such. Like leave of
Yeah.
absence.
Yeah, we don't have
aliens.
to he like got
Permanent.
fired and
Yeah.
he like went home or something like happened. He very much could be just cooling off somewhere.
No, I believe he's still there.
Yeah,
Just
I do
not
know.
But
working.
nobody knows. The fact of the
Yeah.
matter is,
We
nobody
don't know.
knows. I mean, I've shared what my conspiracy theory is, and people have their other ideas what it is. But when you drill down to the bolts and the tacks of the whole situation, no
We
one
don't.
knows.
No. Well, some people do, but not us.
Yeah.
We would like to confirm ours with the
She's still here? Or did she bounce out? Man, you're like the wind, Jessica.
No, she's still here. Well, she's still
Oh,
up
she
in the
is?
top.
How do you know that? Oh, you went to that thingamajig that you showed me.
No,
I'm
just
just
look at the
learning
top of
about
the
this stuff.
screen. Look at Jess and
Yeah,
I next to each other. At the top, next to 69, that's just Jess and I hanging out next to 69.
oh, hello, lads.
An incredible insight.
You want to pop up, Jessica? It might be easier than just typing it out. I mean, it's your call. We'd love to have you. I like shooting the shit with you.
Yeah, I like you
If you,
too, Jessica. Come up if you want to. You don't
I
have to.
get it. I get it, Jessica. 100%. It's tough, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of the same way. It's like there's information that you want to share, but you have to dance and dilly dally around it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, take your time.
Oh, I gotta go take an antihistamine.
Do you guys want to see?
Hey,
Oh,
Jess.
hi, Jessica.
Wait, Jessica, do you like being called Jess or is it Jessica? Because some
Jessica.
people. Okay, Jessica it is.
So I'm gonna say this in a riddle type way, just to be very careful. And I would love it if you all say like, "There's no way that's true," and just go around whatever you want to say, because I'll make sure everything I say is allegedly. And also, I don't want to
Okay.
confirm like a source, but I was told, and I'm under the impression that the day that he recorded Nick without Nick's consent, and then when he was asked directly if it was recorded, and he said no, and it was all in a lie, even though he apologized for that. When Pat got back, a lot of things were reviewed, and that was one thing that was like, say, like for example, a house manager has three checks before you get suspended or get in trouble. Then the second thing is there's this whole pizza party, and we all know the Pat number two show that happened that day with the costume and all the fun, trolling the chats and going crazy that he was doing that day. That day, have you all ever heard a number of how much money was given?
Nope, because they've never
Yes,
revealed it.
It was
I have
Okay,
an
so
approximation.
Well, he said 260, but he never showed what was in the cash app. He
yeah.
just
He
said
said he was going to show his cash
you
app
should
before.
well, there was
from
Hold on,
PayPal money
I'm
sent.
gonna mute.
There was PayPal money sent that day too, and there was other things. Anyway, so apparently that was strike two because there were some major alleged situations that happened. So I think when Pat got back, those who were live and those who did things, there was certain punishments or certain situations that happened. And so it just might be that he's on some type of suspension, but he didn't like the reaction. So there was a heated situation that could have popped off. But as far as I know, he is still employed, but there is a, um, let's just say there's a strike system.
Yeah.
But of course, you all please don't agree.
I don't think that's the case. I think it's completely
Yes,
something
good
different.
job. Thank you. Yes,
I think
thank
that's
you.
too crazy to be true.
Wild. Wild, Jessica.
Yes,
What are
thank
you
you, guys.
talking? Are you okay?
I don't know.
I don't believe
No,
that.
I'm
you're
just-
out of your mind.
I'm just making up things. You know how
Yeah.
I go.
You are
You just go around
wacky
just
wild,
making
wacky
stories
wild.
up.
You.
She's just setting
Now-
little
You
fires
and your
at well.
stories.
Another little hint. That Cash App that was made NIC, not NICK.
Oh yeah. I remember you talking about that, or
I'm
somebody
telling you
was.
guys. I'm trying to tell you a couple little pieces. I've been saying this and no one listens
I
to
heard
me.
you say something about that last
Something's
week.
up with that Cash App, so
Yeah.
let's note that. Someone is hosting that Cash App. Someone has it. So question
Someone
mark,
we were
question
just
mark,
talking
period.
about?
Huh?
Someone we might have just been talking about?
No, I'm just saying
No.
out loud. I'm just saying other things. But other thing
Yeah.
is, why was Nick sleeping on the couch? Can anyone really think about that in a realistic way? So let's pretend Teapot's staying at the house, right? She's there, she's in her room, and say Jilly's there, Says is there, I'm there, we're all girls sleeping in a room together. Something has to be going on to piss me off to go to the other room to sleep on a couch. Typically, right, when you leave the room, when you're a 6-year-old kid and you're getting mad at your brother, you leave the room and go to the couch. I'm not sleeping in that room with that person no more, right?
I hear that.
So, like, why did Nick go to the couch?
Well, he did say originally, I think someone was snoring, and that would piss me
Yeah,
enough
I can't
to
see
leave.
snoring.
Yeah, I can't.
So
sleep.
we're gonna stick with snoring, right?
Well, can I add one little bit of
What I'm
information?
wondering is,
They have cameras
go ahead.
right on the outside of the rooms there. That's the only thing that, because I can understand like thinking of one way, but I just don't know because of the camera situation. That's my 2 cents.
Well, I'm not implying that like someone was leaving the room. I'm implying something was happening within that room.
Oh, Yahtzee.
And then
some
also, why did Nick?
self-meditation, maybe?
So why did Nick also switch sponsors?
It depends on who his first one was, right? Like, because one of those is not very bueno if they gave him to the one guy.
I just think there's a lot of things. And then I heard this lady talking today on a video that was clipped where she's talking about everything is like staged there.
Yes.
And also, the more drama and the more subscribers and ratings you get, the more rewards you get. I've been
Yes.
saying this for a while. The more drama or the more Nick causes any kind of chaos, the better he gets, like more patted on the back. And the
Yeah.
more that he's not doing nothing, he actually gets like not in trouble, but he'll lose his phone footage or he gets more strikes against him and more words against him. So there's a lot that I want to say, but I can't say a lot because a lot I
I
can't
hear
say,
ya.
obviously. But I've been trying to drop little clues on things that I do know for a fact that I like. I just know things for a fact, and I'm speaking. And also, does Mariah come in here?
No, I haven't seen her in here in a long
Um,
time.
she does scroll in here occasionally, but not that often. No.
Well, if you guys are ever in my live when I'm there, she comes in a lot, and she says a lot in capital letters, and she drops certain hints. If you guys listen to her, she's dropping hints for a reason. Like she actually talks to Nick almost every day on the phone.
Yeah.
They have a home phone Nick calls from.
Yeah, I know that one, right? It just you can just call on that one. Is like, and
Yeah.
this is just me ask, how's he doing? Like, what's your opinion on how he's just doing with the whole situation? Like, because if I was him, I know what he's there for, right? And he's not stupid, and so he knows what he's there for. But it just seems like such an uncomfortable situation and living conditions to even have to tolerate for the benefits in which he's getting doesn't seem to, outweigh that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but like, so this is what I'll say in response. I can't say who's in the room with him. You guys have to figure that out for yourselves. There was a day where
Yeah.
they showed his room and showed his bed where it was really dirty, and they like
Mhm.
exposed him in a very disgusting way. Like, I'm not saying that he's innocent or that he I just think, like, if you live in a big mansion like that, if your bed's dirty, like, I don't think you should show it on camera, but there's little clues where you can figure out who's in his room. That's what I'll say
Yeah.
to that chat. But down there, I was gonna say, like, I think that he has a roof over his head, he has a full stomach, he's eating, and right now Mariah's not able to house him. I'm not able. No, can anybody house him right now? He's a grown man. He has nothing.
Well, and he's
And
also
so what I
surrounded by people, a community, which is something he's, longed for, is a family.
how many times have you all watched where they all like telling him, and it seems like the house doesn't like him that much. So what
It's,
community?
that's the vibe I get too, right? Like you can tell, like on the offhanded comments, you can tell when they were having dinners, like he's persona non grata. Like it's not hard to
I
read
want to
that.
ask Seth, like, tell me three friends he has in the house.
Well, I thought he was friends with Mason.
Okay, so if Mason's
Ali.
suspended or not there,
Yeah, Ali. He thinks
okay.
Ali. I guess it's hard. Like we see only tiny little clips. Like you really don't know, and because the way Nick performs for a camera, it's hard to see like genuineness from him. I really struggle to see like a genuineness from him.
Okay.
And I don't know who he like hangs. Oh, she's a graduate, but I think he gets along well with that girl that he goes
It's
to
the
the gym
gym.
with.
Tara.
Yeah, Kiara.
Okay, I'm just throwing, like, I kind of know some of the answers. I'm just saying things out loud
Yeah.
because
I
I don't
get
want
it.
like someone to be like, Jessica said this, and then they
No,
clip me,
that's
and then it goes
okay.
back to Nick that I reported something that he told me
Yeah.
in private.
I
So I'm trying
I
to
get
like
it.
speak
No, and
very
we don't
carefully.
want that. We don't want that because we know that you're friends with Nick, and yeah.
Whatever you're comfortable with is don't worry about it. We'll figure out the rest. Does Nick know
But
that TikTok is ending?
we all think it's so. I go live every day. I've
Mm-hmm.
been going live since 2020. I don't think Nick. I don't think it's going to end. Honestly, my true opinion. I don't think it's going to end. But of course, I'm being realistic. So I'm streaming over on the other app as well. Um, so I think we all know. But I asked this question. Okay, so Nick went into the house. He did have an ID. It was lied about that he did not have ID for a long
I
time by
I
everyone.
told I saw it when
Okay.
Patrick was. I was just talking about that today, Jessica. That's why I'm got a little excited
Okay.
Well,
My
about that.
question is,
I
why would
went
that
live
be
with
lied
Pat.
about? Why would
So
that be
he
lied
lied.
about?
So Nick originally lied because he did not want to go on a plane.
Get on a
He did
plane.
not want to go on a plane with Check the Star. He did not want to go on a plane. Period. So he said, "I have no ID." So that's what he said. He had a paper ID and it would not work. So he got what he wanted by going on the bus. But Mariah can tell you he's had ID for a couple months now. So he does have ID, and even though when they got there and they got him food stamps, they know that he has an ID. And I would ask Mason, I would ask Pat, I would ask everyone about this ID, and they would say, "We shipped out his birth certificate. He talked to his mom. We're trying to get him ID now. That's why he's not seeing a doctor still to this
Yeah.
day." So those questions that you all have witnessed me ask. Well,
Yes.
apparently he has an ID this whole time. That was a cover-up lie for some reason. And then the main thing I was going to say is like, okay, so he walked in the door with a couple $100 from his PayPal, Cash App, whatever he had. And if he left today or if he leaves at graduation, what is he walking out of the house with?
Fair point. Fair point.
Does anyone have an answer?
Well, he is meant to be getting a job, right? So he would be getting
When
a
is that?
job.
He doesn't even have a he has not even seen a doctor yet.
Yeah. So if he's and I was going to ask you that. So because I mean, like at the end of the day, like I would say the same thing to Mason when I talk to him, right? Like he's walking out with nothing, nothing right now.
So right now, if he left today, or if he never went, or if he leaves on graduation day, or becomes a house manager, whatever happens, there's really nothing he's gaining. Like he's not leaving with $1,000 in his pocket. He's not leaving. He's leaving with being sober.
Yeah, I was going
Congratulations.
to say that. Like his
That's
sobriety.
the big benefit is he leaves with sobriety. But does he leave with a more mental abuse? Does he leave with more mental challenges? Does he leave with like being scarred from whatever he's about to go through or went through? I'm just saying that I told him that there needs to be some kind of like plan. He needs to get a job. He needs to see a doctor. He needs to like I told him also when Pat got back to not sign nothing. I said, I don't care what he puts in front of you, ask for a lawyer.
Yeah, but Jessica, you don't like so you know they've people that were going to Graceland, right? They've had
Hmm.
concerned family members, etc., ask for the papers to be sent prior to them signing it, so they could have their own attorney look it over. And Graceland refuses to send any of the paperwork out. Do you see what I mean? Like there, and that's shady as it is, right? Like, what's the big deal? Like, if you have all of your clients signing this paperwork, why can't it go outside so you can have outside counsel look at it? And the second thing is, like, and the most important part I know for you is, listen, when you go into a sober living house, right? Like, the main goal is to hopefully heal whatever it caused you to drink or to use substance that way. Like, that's never getting fixed over there. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's still been 2 months and he still hasn't seen a doctor. Like, there's something fundamentally wrong with that, in my
How many
opinion.
guys watched me go live with Pat, Mason, every single guy demanding a doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw you with Mason,
Why?
and you were kind, but you were firm and you really made your points. That's why I appreciate you because I get gaslit pretty easily sometimes. You don't.
I do, me too, me too. But like, there's a reason why he's not seen a doctor still today.
Is he must not want to then,
No, he wants
you
to.
know?
I could prove it.
Okay. I don't have, I mean,
Well, I guess if he would look, my this is just my opinion, that I think for Nick, his mental health is more of an issue than his addiction, right? And I think if
Million
he
percent.
was
Have
to
we all? Do we
see,
all agree on that? Does everyone agree
yes.
Hmm.
that his mental
Yes.
health
yeah,
is a bigger
so
problem?
yeah,
But is
so
it
if
because
he
they
was to,
don't want him to see a doctor because if he sees a mental health, if he sees a doctor could say like he needs to be more of
well, that's
an
yeah,
inpatient somewhere else, and then that takes the money away from
that's what I
Graceland if he
think.
feels it,
That's what
yeah,
I think.
with him leaving.
Yes, so I think that as well.
Yeah,
I think they see their golden ticket leaving if he
yeah,
get.
that's what I was getting to.
And
Yeah.
That
also, I think the reason why he's going to leave with an empty pocket and no car, no hotel, or no apartment, no income in any kind of way, and then by the time he graduates, also, who's going to be like this subject's kind of died out. He's going to have to start all the way over trying to get money on the way he used to get money. So to me, like he has to do something. I don't know. Like there has to be some kind of deal. So if Pat, which I think Pat already did, just so you know my opinion, and allegedly, I think when Pat got back, everything was reviewed. I think a lot of manipulation happened to make Nick feel that they were defending him by going after anyone that disrespected him, like were recorded without his consent. I think that they're going to make him sign a contract and an NDA. And I said, do not sign that. Whatever you do, like we could find a lawyer. I'm sure someone on this fucking through your all's side, my side, or anyone else's side, there has to be some kind of lawyer out there in California we could find to help represent it. He's going to bring all those views in and bring all those subscribers in. He should get something. There should be some kind of like plan that Pat has set for him, or something happens. But I don't know. But
I, I don't see it
go ahead.
happening for
yeah,
me
It's not going
personally,
to
right?
happen.
I mean, they're under two lawsuits right now. They're under one federal investigation. DHCS has already been over there twice. Do you know they're having problems with the insurance companies now because they're looking at certain things. There's a lot of hot and heavy things happening, right? And so my assumption was that with the whole thing going on with the one litigation with the mother of the former resident, that the attorney probably said, "Listen, you got to put a hold on all this filming. Like you just recently had your house manager filming, a resident without permission when they asked you on camera. Do you know? Like, it's hard for me to think like they would be amenable in saying, "Here's a piece of the pie." Right? I mean, I could definitely be wrong, and that's just my opinion.
Jessica, do you know if Nick's family is in any way aware of kind of the situation he's in right now?
I know that he has talked to his mom. I think we all know that, right?
Yeah, he talked to her
Yes.
kind of recently
Yeah. So
Recently? Okay.
I know he talked to his mom. I
with
know he
me.
talks to Mariah. Mariah was a big part of his step program where he had to like apologize. I know they're just friends. They're not in a relationship. They're just communicating. So I do know that he does communicate with some of his family, his mom, and then Mariah, which is kind of family in a weird way.
Yeah.
Not
I'd
family,
be
you know
really
what I mean?
curious to know what they know about Graceland and what they think about his treatment.
I think everyone wants him to see a doctor.
Yeah.
Absolutely, for his health and for the home's health. That's it. Just makes sense. And
Well,
he was promised that. Madison said this Friday he will see a doctor when he was still living in the Carolinas.
And
so
I
you
honestly
all,
believe Nick really does want to see a doctor. I've seen moments where you can see it in his face that he
no, he does. He wants
he's
clarity. He just
done
wants step
with
work.
some level of the shenanigans.
Yeah. Maybe he
Yeah,
says it
he's
more
had an
You
publicly.
guys have
opportunity.
all seen all the videos in the past where he's like raging and like breaking hotels and like breaking stuff,
Yeah,
and he like. So you all know when he's in a mania episode, like what he's done, right?
Hmm.
So I've been saying he's not had a mania episode and he's not had like an extreme bipolar episode either. So if those things have not happened, like what if they were to happen in that house?
Yeah.
it's just a, listen, that whole house, in my opinion, right, is just waiting for something to happen.
It's
I
a
mean,
ticking time bomb.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think something's triggering at that point. But I think that like that's why I think you should see a doctor.
do you do,
Sorry, Blair.
do you I mean, does he have the ability though to set up his? I mean, he has to, right? Like if he wanted to set up his own physician, couldn't he do that on his own and then get an Uber there? I mean, they can't keep him there.
They're meant to give them like them. The idea that I got from when Mason was talking was that it is the residents, as they're adults, it's their responsibility to make their appointments, and then the graduates or staff are meant to assist them to get there.
And
That's
the
what they do with
office
their
where you get
personal business. Sorry. Yeah.
the office where you get the food stamps is the same area where you go for the California, what do they call it, Medcare, something along those lines. It's the same goddamn building.
Cal. Oh, I wanted to clear something up before we keep going. When I said that Madison told Nick this Friday, that was right. That was before he got on the bus. He was still in North Carolina, and she said, "Yeah, Nick's going to see a doctor this Friday," and that was like on a Monday or something. Was talking because someone in the chat. I just want to make sure that that's clear. Madison didn't recently say this was before he
So
went.
if you remember what I would live with Pat whenever he was on the bus headed there, Pat said he's going to see a doctor right away. I told the Mason, they said he was going to see a doctor as soon as he got there. Then Mason said it like 6 other times. Then the guy with the big black glasses said they were going to see a doctor right away. The guy with the black beanie,
John.
all of them have told me, I swear to God, Jessica, the doctor is the first thing. Still hasn't seen a doctor. And yes, he can make his own appointments, but there's a little bit more to that story I can't add. I can't say much
Okay.
more, but there's a reason why he's not seen a doctor. And that's up to you guys to kind of figure out. But I can tell you, it's pretty easy to figure out what it is if you just think about it.
He's the golden ticket.
Right. And I know you can't say it, so we're not going to throw guesses
Yeah.
at you for a reaction one way or the other. I'm not going to put you in that position.
Well, if you guys like speculate, that makes it kind of better for me because then we're just
Yeah,
in a speculated conversation. So that's
I
why I
get
said,
it.
like, if I say something, like, feel free to be like, that's not true. There's no way that's possible because then it looks like we're speculating. And it is a bunch of what if questions.
You're being
Yeah.
silly, Jessica. Is that
Yeah,
good?
I
Good
mean,
job.
well, I
Good
mean,
job.
in all,
I mean, he doesn't
if,
have access to the internet on a regular basis, does he? It would be really hard for him to
oh
look
yeah,
at doctors and
So let me ask you guys a question. Did
make
you guys
appointments.
hear about the iPad?
yes.
Okay. That's all I got to say about that part.
You're talking about the background.
I don't
I
know the
saw the
iPhone.
I saw the background thing on the iPad, where the picture was formed on the background, and it was Nick.
Yeah, he does to take
Yeah,
photos,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then
And
Wanted to tell you
apparently,
that did y'all hear that Nick looked at Reddit and he's seen all
Yeah.
these videos?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I saw that and heard that, and then that's when he had the disciplinary action where he could only use it on the 1st and the 15th.
And he did that on the PlayStation.
That was his phone he
Yeah.
could use on the 1st and 15th, not the iPad.
Oh,
And not
I
I
thought it
thought
was
that
everything.
iPad didn't have I just assumed it didn't have internet because they were letting him use the iPad. I thought it was just like an iPad with no
Yeah,
internet.
I thought it was just for music.
So I'll just tell you that what I could clarify to you guys is that he gets his phone on the 1st and 15th.
15th.
The iPad and the home phone is not what we've ever discussed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean that's good
And
for sure.
have you guys ever noticed how like I don't talk about Madison ever, and no one kind of does? We all kind of are very careful
Yes.
about Madison. Is that
Yeah.
kind of weird to you guys?
I mean,
Yes.
we've definitely
I
talked about her. We've talked about her a lot.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been kind of silenced about her. I can't talk about Madison.
you choose not to or you can't. It's a difference, right? Like
I wonder if they're setting intimidation tactics.
I just can't talk about Madison
I
really ever.
wonder. Yeah,
But I
Ouch.
can talk about
maybe.
Pat. I can talk about anybody in the house. I can talk about them with you guys. I can talk about Nick, what my feelings are, what my thoughts are. But when it comes to Madison, that's supposed to be a silent conversation that we don't have, I guess.
well,
That's
that's
a
not really the
riddle.
case. Yeah, I mean, I'm just letting you know. I don't know how you aware you are with. I mean, it's not like you follow this channel every day, but Madison did come on this channel, and that's when she found out about a number of things that were happening inside of Graceland, which she said she was
Like the
unaware.
cash app. We brought that
The
up with
Cash
her. The
App.
cash app. She said so. She was under of the. I'm not sure if you saw the video, Jessica, but she really thought when I brought that up to her, she thought, "Oh no, we only received $20." And I said, "No, that's not the case. We know that he received at least 100. And I think the chat was saying the last marker we got was $240. So I still think it's more than $260 because people were sending money.
Yeah,
She
there's
didn't
PayPal.
know that Mason had given his personal cash up. She had some messages. Well, this is what she told us. She received some messages asking for the Graceland, Venmo, Cash App, whatever that is, and she said they received around $25 that night. She apparently did not know that personal Cash Apps, Venmos, pay platforms were shared, and the money was sent to those platforms.
Let me ask you another puzzling question. So, what do you all think would be a reward? Let's just say that Seth is a person that lives at Graceland, right? A scenario. Great. Like, how? What do you think your reward be if you got a bunch of new subscribers because you did something crazy on film, and you were live and something insane happened and everybody's talking about it? Like, what do you think a reward would be, and what do you think a punishment would be
Well,
if
for
you
Nick,
didn't
it's
do
it's
anything good?
phone. It's Nick. It's social media time. That's his currency.
Money?
I mean, what says if she was a resident, when it came time for strikes, it depends. I'd strike less,
Yeah.
and then if she had 1,000 words, those 1,000 words would turn to 100. That's how
Yeah.
I would operate in that
Yeah,
system.
Same.
that's true. That's also currency for Nick because he hates
Maybe
writing.
More freedom, less punishment, in my opinion.
access to DOCs?
Yeah, I'd even go that
Ooh,
far. I'd go that far too. Be honest with
So
you.
there's a video of some girl in a car, and you can see her nails, and she's like talking about the resident of her experience there. Do you have you seen that video?
The one in the back
no.
seat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reposted it. Oh, you liked it. I reposted it.
yeah. So if that's kind of the scenario, like that they're told what to say before they even go live. So imagine like if Nick's told like go in there and like cook something and like do this and go all out, and he doesn't really go all out and give you all a lot of content. Does he get a pat in the back, or does he get like
Oh, he's in trouble. In my
No, he
opinion.
gets he gets house currency, right? So he gets more freedom, right? Less punishment.
Well, if he's not
And
performing as much as they want, I would think that we get
but
in
it's
trouble.
content. If he did the content though, right? Like if you perform, get content, get views, there's a couple things that could happen, right? More strikes, less strikes, depending upon, or you could get paid too. You would get money because that content costs, you get money from that. So if you brought in 50 subs, I might say, let me give you 25 of those, right? And that's $125, whatever. I'd operate that way too. So
was
I
you
get a
guys in
little
the live when
cash.
was arguing with Pat, and I said, I think you should give Nick 50% of the earnings. And he was like,
Yes.
no, whatever. And then he said, I'm going to give this person $1,000 and give this person $1,000 for a job well done.
Oh, that was
That was
Eric.
I
Jose.
remember that.
That was
Do
Jose
y'all
and
remember that
Evan.
conversation?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
I was there. I was there
Okay.
with you, Jessica. Yeah, I remember.
Okay. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's yeah. Do you feel that Graceland will eventually? Because that's one of the things that we're kicking around here. Just talking, and it's all conjecture, and because we don't know for a fact. Do you feel that he's going to be able to operate live again, Patrick, with all the current conditions that he's under?
I think there's something else happening in that house right now that we are not thinking about. So let's just go back to Says being a resident at a sober living. So there's a
Jessica's
bunch
really
of
got it
people.
out for me tonight.
I'm using you for an example. So let's just say you're a resident and you guys go live every single day and you're constantly being pushed for content and to do something crazy and whatever like that. So imagine there's like lawyers and there's like court things happening and there's like lawsuits. Wouldn't they come evaluate the house? Wouldn't there be people there like watching? And wouldn't there be like
Are we talking
things
like
happening?
Yeah, that's
body
yeah,
brokering on a different level?
So like
yeah. I mean,
imagine like
that's.
if Sus
Go ahead,
had
Jessica.
if there was like a criminal situation where there's a court case coming up, don't you think they would go in and evaluate the house and look at the house and like check everything, see where the food stamps are going, see how the house is being ran, like some kind of like criminal.
DHCS would do it. And they would lock that
Why would
down.
why would
They don't,
why would he go so? Why would Pat go completely silent when that's
Because
his way of
Mummy and
making
Daddy
money?
silenced him.
Because would
Mummy
think
and
there's an
Daddy silenced him.
investigation.
He's
Yeah.
too much of a loose cannon. He's too.
what was it?
In my opinion.
What were you saying,
They're under
Jessica?
investigation, maybe?
Not that's there you go. What'd you say?
Wilter, did
Well,
you
they
just say they're under investigation?
what?
Maybe. I don't know.
What?
This is a lot of
I mean,
allegedly things happening, lots of
Wild.
speculation. This is
Wilton.
crazy.
Wild.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That seems a little out of hand, guys.
I
don't-
say random words in random orders sometimes.
I think that
I'm unwell.
you know what? It's late, and sometimes we say silly things.
Wilton,
My
I don't
girl
feel
Evil's-
safe.
It's 0 o'clock for my poor Evil too.
Yeah, T is
Just
somewhere
talking
out with a
mumbly.
candy bar all over her face, just laying in bed. Oh, maybe she is.
Nutty cakes.
Now, I'll
Yeah, I
tell you
mean, I
another
think.
thing.
Go
This is my
ahead.
last little bombshell with all of you guys. Okay, so actually, I gotta think about how to say it. Go ahead, keep talking until I figure out how to say this.
Sure, Kiki in the chat said something interesting. I just think maybe I don't know.
How do we
Oh.
know someone isn't already like? Do you mean someone in the house is like a plant? And I don't
No.
mean like a potted plant.
No, I'm just glad, like, in all seriousness, I'm glad, like, that fire didn't get to them. You know what I mean? Like, that would have
Yeah.
been,
I
because then all those people would have been displaced. And even though I don't like the organization as itself, I don't want to see, like, as you guys all know, it's the residents that are important. And I think that really could have shook a lot of those people and caused a lot of instability? Yeah.
I think someone mentioned before something about Mason and food banks. I think that might tie into that a
Yeah.
bit.
Because he was
Why they're
leaving.
being looked into.
True, Kiki.
Yeah. Well, he was leaving on Fridays, allegedly, right? And driving 45 minutes and then coming back with a massive food haul from a food bank.
I don't even understand how you do
Theories.
that.
All right, I think I got my idea of how I'm gonna express this to you guys. All right, so say Evil hosts her live every day. We all know she's the main host, right? Well, say that one of Pat's friends happens to be Blue Orange, and he's actually his sponsor, or he's a resident, right? So he's coming here, and he's gotten to know Evil Teapot very well.
I see where
Do
you're
you
going
fully-
with this.
Oh, yeah, I get
see
it. I get
I
it.
see it.
I get it.
I see it
The
in
gen-
big lights.
I
Yeah,
see
we.
So what if Blue Orange was a spy to get
Yep.
close to Evil Teapot so that if Nick was to leave or something bad was to happen, then Blue Orange would convince Evil Teapot to not allow anyone to speak bad about Pat or Blue, because that's Blue's baby.
Yeah, we've thrown that
talked
theory
about that.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
What if it's not a theory?
We're
That's
picking up
crazy,
what you're putting
Jessica.
down.
No, Jessica, that's wild.
that is wild. That one. I mean, we've definitely it's been
No,
kicked. It's
that's not
definitely been
true.
kicked around.
I don't
But
know.
No.
Yeah, I think you're lying.
I
No, I
said
think you're
no.
thinking about too much stuff. It's too late, too
I'm
crazy.
just
Too much
just
it's like
implying
a
that
TV show.
The
I think Pat's
conspiracy
a I
theory.
think Pat's a little smart, and I think Pat would send someone in like Blue to get to know Evil so that he has more hands in these situations.
Yeah,
Got
Jessica,
it.
I think you're sleep talking.
I said a lot in this live. Holy fuck.
We got
Do
quite the
you?
imagination, Jessica. Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Silly girl.
My hay fever is kicking my butt right now.
I know.
Oh.
It's been late. Are they getting any new people in? Does anybody know?
I don't know. You know what I'm worried about is how the fire is affecting them mentally and how the fire is affecting Nick mentally. Because I don't want him to get to the point where that might be like kind of like the last straw, so that kind of like breaking the camel's back of maybe mental instability, in my opinion.
Right. I mean, they got enough on their plates.
And that's
Hang on,
heavy to see.
Kiki.
That's so heavy to see for anybody. I don't think I could hold it together seeing that devastation.
Well, it'll be interesting to see like what all comes down to play. I mean,
Yeah.
it's tiring, right? And like at the end of the day, you just want people to be better.
Did you all know they went and
And
helped people who were affected by the fire?
they did.
Did you all know any of that stuff or no?
I heard
I
there
did
was some
hear that
volunteer
they
work.
were volunteering, yeah.
You know, I mean, they weren't putting out fires. I hope. Like, I hope they were just like doing the cleanup
They're
and
just
stuff
offering
like that.
help. So I know that would make Nick feel like if they did go help, that would be something big for Nick. So I think as far as his mental state, I think they're all pretty excited that they just went and helped their community.
Yeah, that's a
Like
good.
that's
I've done it
cool.
before. It's a
Like
good feeling.
that's really cool, and it gets them out of that house too. You know, and interacting with other humans, which is important.
And people are so genuinely happy when that community comes together. It's so meaningful. So yeah, it's an important part of society and for you mentally to feel like you're part of something. So yeah, I could see that helping a lot.
How are you feeling about the whole situation, Jessica? Like as a whole, like are you feeling hopeful? Are you feeling stagnant? Are you feeling like eventually it's just going to flush itself out? Like, what's your overall emotional state with everything?
My thing is that if Pat has a bunch of court cases, this is all shut down. Nick
Yeah.
leaves tomorrow with not a single dollar in his pocket, and he got a couple months sober and he got a free roof over his head for a little bit,
Yeah.
as well as all those other residents and people that's there. Um, I'm worried about their sobriety and their plan for the future because I think a lot is riding on Nick to
Yeah.
make a lot of money for that house. And
Yeah.
I know when they get back on camera, I know Nick's going to have to do extra hard work to appease everyone who paid for their subscription and didn't get nothing, and all their canceled subscriptions. I think there's going to be some fireworks that's going to be fake, and I hope that we all can see what's the difference between fake and real. A lot of antics, I think, are going to happen. So that's kind of what I'm expecting a little bit.
I know
Yeah.
last
Well,
time when Mason was live, I noticed a lot of people saying, "Oh, should I unsubscribe now? I'm going to unsubscribe." There's a lot of people in the chat saying that the last time they were live.
We're down to under 800 subs from what, 2,300?
Yeah, it went down significantly.
Hey, Jessica, just so you know, when if just say like I don't know, says Seber sober like environment, if it does get like if the state comes in, right, or the feds and they shut it down, they usually have an opportunity or a choice for the residents to go to transition to. It's usually provided for them.
It's kind of, yeah.
Which might be
And that,
actually good for Nick, because what if it's a place that's like, hey, we obviously aren't going to have cameras on you. We're not going to make you dance like a monkey. You know what I mean? We're gonna allow you to get mental health. So that might actually be, really fruitful for him, in my opinion.
and I think if Nick left today, right, if he walked out the door, I think he has enough support. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think he has enough support with like a core group of viewers that would be able to provide him with some help. That's my guess, right? I mean, that's what I would hope to see. I don't want to see anybody out on the streets.
Yeah, I agree with you, Lou. If I think something happened where he was, quote unquote, like out on the streets, I think that he'd be able to get money to provide enough for, a little bit that he's not going to be living, you know, literally on the streets.
Yeah. And I will say, Jessica, you're a hell of an advocate, right? We don't have to agree on everything, but I
Yeah.
admire your tenacity and I admire your dedication and I admire your fortitude. And you haven't broken out of your lane through the beginning of this, right? Like
I
been
won't.
very you've been very clear on what your objectives are and what your expectations are, and you haven't let them pivot out of it. And one thing that I've noticed upon in my conversations with Graceland is they have a tendency to avoid the question and try to deflect and deter and pivot away from what you're originally talking about. And I see that you also recognize that, and I'm also letting you know I recognize like you bring them back into the lane and you haven't stopped. And for that, my hat is off to you because it's not a lot of fun talking to people, especially when you know they're lying to you.
Yeah.
No, I agree, and I thank you. And if like if Evil Teapot was a streamer that goes live and does battles things like that, and I got to know her, and she like treated me with respect, and she was cool to me, and then something happened, and she reached out to me to like set in a live with her for 4 hours where she is scared of her mind that she might be getting tricked or whatever like that. And if I got chosen to be that person, and we already had a great relationship prior, I would do the same thing for her or anyone else before. Like as a trans person, I get bullied really bad on here. I get made fun of. A lot of people don't. People that look like Nick and act like Nick typically are not very nice to me. So the way
Yeah.
that he treated me, I thought was like pretty amazing. I was pretty proud of him, and I think he's been a good friend to me. He's never wrote me and asked me for $1. He's never told me some sob story, and I really wish you guys could hear him on a phone call and like see that he doesn't do that fake voice and he doesn't do those weird like that weird personality doesn't come out. Like he's a cool, genuine person, and I don't know. I just think there's a different side to him that like I've gotten to see, and I could be manipulated. I could be being tricked. I don't know. I'm just basing it on how he makes me feel and how he's treated me. And again, we don't all have to agree, which is why I think it's so healthy to have an awesome conversation where
Yeah.
like you guys might think that he's the worst person in the world, but you're communicating with me, and none of you guys
We'll
have
still
bashed him
chat to
while I was
you.
here.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
respect that.
You've got a
Well, we've
beautiful soul, Jessica, and
yeah.
that's like something we've always said is like you're a very sweet,
Yes.
kind,
Gorgeous.
strong woman.
Thank you,
100%.
guys.
Yeah,
And
we have your back. You are beautiful, and when I see you, like you advocate for him, and I've been open to you how I feel about Nick, but the fact
Yes.
that you are going this way to advocate for somebody, it is
I
impressive.
respect that.
Yeah, and I genuinely think you're gorgeous and beautiful and kind, and I hate that you get bullied and people say things about you, because if this is who you are and this is who you're comfortable being and this is your best self, I'm gonna celebrate that because I think that's beautiful. I have friends who are trans, and it kills me. I'm trying to cry. Oh my god, sorry. It kills me how they get treated, and it's just like I really want you to have that respect from anybody, no matter what they look like, because there's no room for them to judge you. You are a beautiful, wonderful person inside and out, and I hope you really know that.
Thank you. I I think I
And
am.
Jessica, you know I don't have any love for Graceland, right? But I do. I don't care who it is. Like I don't think those residents should be treated the way they're being treated. And my last thing I'll say about you is you have a very unique way of walking through life where you disregard what everybody else says about another human being and you just evaluate them based on your own personal relationship with them. And so I think that's quite unique and it's a very strong way to live life. So I just want to let you know I see that in you.
Yeah, you're absolutely a
Okay.
strong woman.
Thank you. So I do know, like I've read about his past and things like that. And if I ever met him in real life, or got the opportunity to like I actually got invited to go to the graduation from more than just Mason. So
Really?
like that's if I went, that would be pretty unique and cool because my
Yeah.
daughter's on RuPaul's Drag Race season 17 and the finale is coming up. And so it's in California and she's like begging me to go. So there's a chance I might go. But anyway, I'm aware of Nick's past. I see it. I read it. I've watched. I've seen so much. I've talked to Mariah for hours on the phone. I've talked to Nick. I in no way have I ever said that like I am cool with his past. I've always said that like I think people who are struggling with mental health and are on drugs. I know people who in my family who used to be hardcore on stuff and they stole my grandma's like diamond ring, her family, like her mom necklace that all the kids got it for her. And some of the kids had passed away at that point and he pawned it. So I think when you are really bad off, if you go to get help and you get treatment and you do better and you ask for forgiveness and you work on your steps, I think people can get better, but I would never think about his past to be like, oh, I forgive him or I'm okay with it. And I think it should be forgotten. I've never pushed for that. All I push for is how he's treated me and what is happening in that house and what I think is not cool and not fair. So to make sure you know, I'm not advocating for his past. If that makes
Yeah.
any sense. I know that's blurred. I know that
It's your business, Jessica. I mean, at the end of the day, like if you choose to be friends with Nick, like that's your business. That's
Yeah.
how I look at it. Like at the end of the
and
day,
there's a bunch of fake accounts with pictures of me as a boy, and it's like Jessica Diamond and Jessica Foltz is my real name. My name. It's very public. My Facebook has Jessica Foltz on it. Jessica Diamond. Like I have no secrets. I've never been arrested before. Never done drugs. I'm very straight edge. I have no criminal background. And like Pat was like, "You're in sobriety. You're high right now." I
Yeah,
was like, "No,
that was a
wrong
really
person."
shitty move. Like it just yeah. Shows his character though, really, doesn't it?
So I just want y'all to know I don't respect his past. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
yeah,
Look, we already know that we don't agree on Nick as a person, but we do respect you. And I can respect the way you've advocated for Nick. It is admirable. And we've never had a fight because we disagree about Nick. We've always had great conversations.
And I respect all of you guys. If you all say like, Nick did this and this is what he said back in 2019 and there's a video proof of it and you're like giving me your story and I'm listening, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna advocate and fight against you. I'm gonna listen. I've never
yeah. I
argued with
think it,
anyone that disagrees with me or disagrees with him. I listen full out. I'm not here to argue. I might not agree with you fully, but I'm not going to ever argue with you guys. And I respect you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, well,
because
we're not going to argue with you either.
no, we're all on the same team here, right? Like at the end of the day, if I can speak for us, like we want the residents to get the help that they deserve and they
Where
need.
team gets says out of Graceland safely.
Yeah. Everybody deserves
That's
a
it.
chance at sobriety. Everybody deserves to have the life they deserve that's good and fruitful, and they're able to be their true self and figure out their own identity without masking it, or to figure out their pain and navigate through those things. That's what we advocate for. We want those people to feel whole again, where they get to be active members of society. And to see them not being able to live their full potential is that's one of the reasons why we speak out for them, because they deserve to have better.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that that organization's been able to operate with such impunity for 4 years. I'm so surprised, Jessica.
Also, Jessica, I want to apologize for the people who take your profile picture and do that and try to tear you down. That's
Thank you,
You
Jessica.
didn't
disgusting.
do it.
You deserve better. You really do. You deserve so much better.
But I understand that that's kind of the price you pay of being friends with them. So I kind of don't, I'm not okay with it. But like, if that's all they can do to hurt me, I'm very proud of who I was. So posting boy pictures of me is not going to like affect me. I'm proud of Jesse and the strength that he had to get me to where I am today. So they really
Listen,
can't argue with that.
I've seen a lot of people, like a lot of people have opinions on Graceland. A lot of people have opinions on Nick, right? I can't really think of too many other people that have actually actively tried to talk to those people at Graceland and hold a conversation with them. Like I've seen you dance with Mason, I've seen you dance with Patrick, right? And for me, that says a lot. Just so you know, right? Like because
Absolutely.
we know how they roll with their combos, and it's hard. Like I mentioned previously, when you know they're lying to you, right? It's a tough thing, but you haven't ever lost your cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
If anything ever happened to me, I would want somebody like you advocating for me 110%. You go the distance, you have the patience, you bring out the facts, you don't get angry, you cool the out, you have a very calming way. Like when Mason started kind of getting really upset, you're like, hey, Mason, look at me, don't look at the chat. You have a very
Yep.
calming, there's something about you where that goes on to the other person you're talking to. You meet them at their level and then you bring them down. And that's something that's like a talent. Not a lot of people can do that.
Thank you. I
Yeah, you
appreciate
did
that.
handle that very
Yeah, you're
well.
quite good at staying calm. I'm someone who gets quite emotional, so I
Same.
definitely admire that.
We're doing
And I
plan on
definitely help.
hosting a live soon with Mariah and some of the people. So we're not going to talk about Graceland or Nick, but like I'm actually becoming really good friends with her. And I think that her story is really cool. I think that she's made lots of mistakes, but she also has done like some great things with herself. So I'm just really proud of her as well. I hope y'all don't
Wait,
forget
did
about her in like this whole story because I think that she was a victim, but also a problem in it. Like they're 50-50 the way that she explained it to me. So if y'all ever see her, just make sure you root for her because I think she's really trying
Yeah, of
really
course.
Oh,
hard.
we don't let anybody
yeah,
speak bad about Mariah in here, like at
No.
all. We don't let anyone
no.
shit on her or anything. We understand like what trauma is like and what trauma bonds are like and what toxic relationships are like. And yeah, we don't allow anyone to speak bad about her or shit on her situation or what happened with them when it comes to her.
Yeah, a lot of us understand it on a personal level, and we would not allow that because we wouldn't want that to happen with our trauma. That's disgusting.
When is that going on, Jessica? Is it this week?
Uh, no, we're talking. She's building up the courage to do it. She wants to make sure that she can go live and like talk about like just a normal conversation, like how hard she's working on getting herself a car and like just doing really good for herself and stacking money to get better in
Oh,
her sobriety. And I think that she's just, and then what I love the most about talking to her is in no way does she ever blame Nick. No way does she ever blame herself. She truly went into a conversation where she was 100% accountable for everything that she did wrong as well as things that she did right. And that takes a pretty unique character, person to be like, I equally fucked up. And this is kind of like why. And she owns it. And I think that's, we all could have disagreed. We could say that he did 80% of the wrong and she did, way less. But in her mind, when she speaks, the way that she spoke to me, it was very confident and very aware. And she's just cool as fuck. Same with Nick. I wish you guys could have a real conversation with them off this app.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely see a different side to him than any of us have, and I know more about Graceland than I know about Nick. And I saw little glimpses of it, right? When I think I saw it when he was talking about, well, when I'm on Instagram is when I can kind of be normal and the TikTok's the work side of it. I saw some glimpses of that normalcy that I think you're alluding to. And you're right. Like we don't have those conversations with them. I think it would be important that if he ever, it'd be nice to see it. I'll leave it at that. I mean, I'd like to see it without the camera mask on. And I think Patrick has some of that as too.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that they put the pressure on themselves to be these characters online when they could probably get more support, care, and love from people if they were just themselves. It's just a little ironic.
Yeah, it's a weird world, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's got to be exhausting. You know, it's got to be exhausting holding up and creating and fabricating this whole other intricate personality that you have to adhere to when it's not really you.
Yeah,
It'd be a
that's
challenging way to live life.
it'd be awful feeling to hold up the camera and be like, ah, and then it's just like you're like you put it down, you're like, oh, like that's so like it's an exhausting constantly. I agree with you. I would be so drained as a person.
Thanks, Miss K.
That's why I think he's so at peace right now in a weird way why he's there. Is that he doesn't have to put the show on, doesn't play character all the time, and he can kind of like breathe for a second and not beg for a hotel room and not beg for food, and he can kind of just sit there and observe and be quiet. But I do think that
Stability. He's not living day to day.
I did teach him that when the conversation was happening about the rewards of him putting on a big show and getting subscribers, things like that. Like I said, if you are not happy or they're pissing you off or something bad happened and something happened in the room or whatever like that, I said, don't give them any camera time. Like don't sit there with your fucking stay in your bed or like don't give any kind of show. And then if you don't do that, you'll realize your power because Pat is going to kiss your butt.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jessica, he has all the
Yeah.
leverage. He has all the leverage. That
Right.
guy. Like he holds 90% of the cards. The issue though is they can make his life incredibly miserable. Like incredibly miserable. That's the downside to that. And you know, I agree. Like that's probably the smartest advice that guy's ever received was before you sign anything, get an attorney. I mean, that's business, right? Especially with those characters. So hopefully he'll listen to what the advice is, man, because it wouldn't be good for him, in my opinion, if he signed paperwork without having an attorney look it over and get something out of it. Because I mean this not with any harshness, but in my opinion, they consider Nick a commodity, right? He's not just some guy they're trying to get sober. He's a commodity to them.
And as a reminder, with NDAs, a lot of people don't realize because they don't have legal representation or they're very scary. But those are really made to keep privacy and like trade secrets. If something illegal happens that's not covered by an NDA, that's an illegal thing to happen, you can report that. And people are scared; they're not sure because usually when they sign an NDA, it's somebody who has a lawyer involved, and they can't afford a lawyer, so they're scared by it.
Hey, Lil. Yeah, we're still going.
Awesome.
Hey guys, good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
I think we're like
morning.
This
8
is
hours
24-hour practice.
Yeah.
No, we're
I'm about to,
this is
I'm gonna go to bed, so thank you all for
9
coming and talk
hours,
to you
8
guys.
hours?
Yeah, of
And
course,
again,
Jessica.
Yeah, thank you,
a lot of what
Jessica.
I said was kind of like in a riddle-ish way. Hopefully you able to filter through what I said. Not
Yeah.
everything I said was completely factual, but it was a lot of allegedly conspiracy theory.
In your opinion, just your
What
thoughts
if?
and your opinion that you shared with us. That's all.
You told
Yeah.
some fantastical fictional stories tonight, and we
Look, you've got
appreciate
crazy stories, Jessica. It's just
your
wild.
we really appreciate your imagination.
Yeah, I heard you're
Says
writing a
good luck
book, so
with-
these are going to be great.
What was that, Jessica?
Sorry.
Good luck with your sobriety and
Oh.
standing the sober living says. Just
Thank you. Thank you. I
Sorry,
really,
it's much against
that
that.
means the world to me.
Thanks, Jess, for coming in.
thank you for allowing
Check-
me to use you as the as
Oh,
an example. I really
anytime.
appreciate it.
Anytime, you guys.
No worries.
Anytime at
Good
all.
night, y'all.
Good night,
All
Jess.
right, good night.
Bye.
Okay, guys, I got one eye open here. My circle are fully kicked in here.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Thanks for holding the flag up.
Yeah.
Dude. I know it was a rough one.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I was I wanted Jessica to be able to speak and stuff like that, so I was holding out, but yeah, I'm gonna pass out at any time here.
I hear it in your voice. So
Yeah.
go to bed.
Thank
night,
you,
everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Tony.